You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Mo and myself, Wole. Ray Jeezy is out. What's poppin', Mo? This is a Mo show today. This is going to be a Mo show today. What's poppin', bro?
What's going on, baby?
My man. Also, hold fast. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Search All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene. Also, tweet us at our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page, and you can tweet us at our at Urban Sports Scene, and hit us up on our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. I'm geeking today. You know, I'm all in this Ryan Fitzpatrick mode. All right. It's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. I just mentioned Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Washington football team signed due to a 1-year, $10 million contract. Me and Mo have been texting each other left and right. We've been shooting the breeze. We've been doing it in an all-loving African way. Hey, Mo, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? The floor is all yours. The Washington football team got Ryan Fitzpatrick. How do you feel?
Man. This deal came out of left field.
Yeah.
Right. This deal came out of left field. It kind of to me goes against what we've been thinking that they were going to do. But you kind of gave me some insight earlier as to a different perspective on how to look at it. Right. I looked at it from a perspective of a 38 going on 39-year-old quarterback. We know that quarterbacks typically don't make it that long in the NFL unless they're elite.
Unless they're Tom Brady.
Unless they're elite, right? Unless they're elite. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, right?
Man, he didn't play good. He didn't really play that well in 40. Tom Brady did.
Here it is in year 17 about the approach, I believe. The Washington football team signs Ryan Fitzpatrick to what I believe is to come in and be their starter.
To compete. But he should. Right now he has to lead.
I mean, it's Heineke, and then it's Kyle Allen with a broken leg.
He should win.
He's probably going to be the one that's there.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. So this is a signing to play.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is kind of counterintuitive to me based off with the direction we thought this team was going. We thought would sustain success and getting young talent to come in here, flourish together, build together, and keep winning. Like like I've said before, I think that Washington football team fans are on a high because they won a bad division last year.
Yeah.
But in order to get the same result, but do it in the nature that we know is going to be necessary, winning 9, 10, 11 games in the upcoming years and in the future to win this division, I didn't see this move coming. And we're talking about a journeyman quarterback who's on his 9th team, who's undrafted out of Harvard, right? He's probably supposed to be a professor before he's supposed to be an NFL quarterback. And then to last this long, don't get me wrong, I love me some Fitz magic. Yeah. What I love about Fitz magic is that he comes in, and when things are about to implode, he's been at, except for the first couple. So he comes in, nothing is expected of him. He's a backup. He's a professional. Something happens to the young guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up playing. It happens every year. We've seen this movie before over and over again. Where I'm afraid is that he comes in now and the expectation is that he's the guy. And he's not held up to his end of the bargain in that department outside of 1 year in 2015 with the New York Jets. Him and Brandon Marshall lit it up, right? But we do know he likes to get the ball to his guys. So I think this is a great thing for 17. I think that if they can surround him with more talent, we see what he did last year in Miami with the tight end Gesicki, bring that same kind of game to Logan. What's my guy? 82's name.
You got Logan Thomas. You got it.
To Logan Thomas, and get it to 17 because he's a gunslinger. He's going to take some chances. He's going to take some chances. But we know what happens with chances, right? And that's where that's the ugly side of Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's the ugly side of Ryan Fitzpatrick. So now you have a defense who showed you last year that if you don't mess this game up for us, we can win. And we can find feasible ways to win the game, right? and you got a gunslinger with a young receiver like 17, and we know he's gonna give him every opportunity to shine. It's like a double-edged sword right there.
It is. So that's the thing. To be honest with you, that's the thing that if you're not on the Ryan Fitzpatrick camp, that's the argument that I feel like you can make. But in this aspect is that this defense showed you when you don't turn the football over, they can compete with anybody. It's when you put them in bad situations is where they don't show out. You know what I mean? It's not like they're at this point in time and there's where they're at defensively. They're not good enough to overcome multiple turnovers, right? But many defenses aren't, right? Many defenses can do that. So that's the thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick. But when you're looking at on the plus side, when you're talking about the youth issue, about the youth movement of this team, it's about, do you get the right young player? You know what I mean? Because you can get a young quarterback, but is it the right quarterback? Will you win with this quarterback? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It's like, obviously, this regime, for whatever, they tried to get certain people and they couldn't get them, right? They tried to get Matthew Stafford. They couldn't get Matthew Stafford. They tried to get Jared Goff. They didn't get Jared Goff. Like, they tried to get these individuals. So those probably the young quarterbacks they did want, right? That they really wanted.
Right.
And they didn't get them.
I think what it shows me though is that they weren't willing to give up assets.
Exactly. So it goes to the point. Yeah, I agree. They weren't willing to give assets, and it goes back. So this regime has stayed true to that aspect. It's like they're not willing to give up assets to on a flyer on a quarterback, right? They're not willing to. They would rather cultivate an environment for a quarterback. So if they get a quarterback, it's probably going to be more in the draft. That's my belief that what this team wants to typically do, or get somebody who's young enough via free agency that they can just slide in and say, you know what, we can look at you and now be the quarterback of the future for this football team if a quarterback is to come in free agency. So but you don't usually get those young quarterbacks that you can believe in free agency, right? Usually they have some type of damage. There's damaged goods, right? They didn't pan out in their first place, and you still think you can kind of tap into that potential. So this signing showed to me, and which I've always stated, like, you know, I've said this to you up front, like I think quarterbacks are highly overpaid. So it shows to me that they're not sold on anybody. And I'm a fan of this. If you're not sold on anybody, forget what your opinion is. If you're not sold on a quarterback, you know, in free agency or a young quarterback, don't draft them. Don't sign them.
Don't plunge.
Exactly. Because we've seen the situation where, and not to be critical and not to kind of jump on somebody who was just going through it here. But Dwayne, that was a quarterback that a lot of people like. It's reported the owner was in love, was infatuated with him, but the coaching staff wasn't. Right? You had football people weren't infatuated, but he was a young quarterback. You know what I mean? They wanted to go. They knew that Alex was hurt. They wanted somebody to replace Alex. They thought Dwayne could be that guy. They missed, so it can set you back. So it's got to be an overall. And this season looking at this season, it has to be an overall organizational move to say, you know what, I definitely like that guy. So if I definitely like that guy, then I'm bringing that guy in my camp. You know what I'm saying? Or in the draft, if I definitely like that person in the draft, I'm getting that guy. Then we can talk about, all right, that's going to the future. So to me, you're getting a Fitzpatrick, so 1 year deal. So 1 year deal. Your quarterback is probably not in the building for next season. You get a quarterback next year in a draft. If you get into a position in the draft where you're like, you know what? No, I like this draft. like I like this draft of quarterbacks. Right. Position yourself for that group of quarterbacks. But I'm like, if you're looking for a 1 year situation, a guy who you're looking at Terry, a guy who gets open 24/7, you have a quarterback who's not going to hesitate throwing him the football. You got to still bring in another guy. I feel like, but by signing a Fitzpatrick, you shouldn't be done. You got to add in a playmaker at the second spot. Like I don't care I don't care if it's in the draft or whatever. You got to add in the playmaker because, like we mentioned before, Mo. You don't a Fitzpatrick isn't a Tom Brady. We're not saying that he's a Tom Brady. A Fitzpatrick isn't a Drew Brees. A Fitzpatrick isn't a Deshaun Watson. He's not a Russell Wilson. He's a guy that you need to put you got to put things around him to make him successful. I will say, granted, the Miami Dolphins situation, like their offense wasn't the most dynamic offense. Like, but you mentioned the tight end, like it was a stud tight end. So we had a couple weapons to really work off of. but you still got to give him, if you want to win football games like this season, you gotta put in place some players that fit his skill set. I do like, Logan Thomas for him, because Logan Thomas is a tall tight end. Fitzpatrick is willing to throw jump balls. We already know that. You mentioned about, you talked about interceptions. You want to throw it up. So it's getting a player like Logan Thomas an opportunity to make big plays. It's funny because I said this on another show. I think a player that was here that would have loved Ryan Fitzpatrick would be a guy like Josh Dotson. Who he would thrive under somebody like Fitzpatrick, because Fitzpatrick would just give him an opportunity to make a play, a jump ball. He was a contested
ball guy.
Yeah.
I remember his first game he played. I forget who the quarterback was, but they threw him 4 fade routes in a row.
Oh, that was Kansas City. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, 4 fade routes in a row.
Oh no, that was because I think that may have been against the Cowboys. To be real with you, because he does that. Jake Gruden did it often. So you get a player like that, like receivers like that who are just like thriving for an opportunity. Even the kid they got from Liberty last year. Gandy Golden, a guy like that, Fitzpatrick, Gandy Golden could be effective with a guy like Fitzpatrick. So Fitzpatrick has his positives. But to your point, though, I will agree with this. What you stated about interceptions, like for this defense, because it's the way we always talk about complementary football. That's a big thing. People don't want to talk about that enough. Complementary football, and if you turn the football over with this defense, and this defense they don't add other pieces to make this defense even better, then it's gonna be tough either way. You may score more points, but it's going to be tougher to be in games as well.
Indeed, I mean, I just look at his turnover woes. He's a player that I believe 10 out of his 16 seasons he's thrown double-digit interceptions, and he's never a full-time starter except for 2 or 3 years, and that's problematic. That's problematic. His interception, his touchdown to interception ratio is not one that is slightly on the positive side, but it's almost 1-to-1. It's almost one for one. So there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of idealistic differences there in the way he plays versus the way they want this team to play. That's why I don't understand the move. I get that you want to have somebody to give you a chance, somebody that's wily, somebody that's been around the block, because you have an injured quarterback and you have a quarterback who just got off the street. And he even though he had a supreme playoff game, how far, and I'm looking at it, your third string is making $7 million more than your second string. Now, you brought in somebody that makes more than both of them that wasn't on the team last year, even though he's been in the NFL. Like, it's I mean,
it's really not really. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, let's be real. Like, we're talking about, and I like Taylor Heinicke. I hope he does get. I mean, a little small part of me hopes he gets the starting job, but a little part of me. But I mean, we're talking about Taylor Heinicke and Kyle Allen. Like, come on, man. Like, really? Like,
I'm with you. I follow.
When we talk about the money, like, I should be happy a team wants to give you a starting chance.
I understood the quarterback move. I just didn't understand the actual person.
No, see, this is the thing. Like, again, like, I told folks ahead of time, like before even I thought didn't even know if it was going to actually even happen. Didn't even know they were even talking. I said that in a tweet. I had to tweet this out. I was like, when folks were talking about Mariota, like Trubisky, I was like, and I think they mentioned it was Trubisky. I think it was Trubisky. And I was like, I don't want no Trubisky. I said that because I don't want no Trubisky. I said, I'm cool with Mariota. On a low key, I take Fitzpatrick. I even said that low key, I take Fitzpatrick. And the reason why, because we've been around people who play sports. We've played sports. I don't care, professionally, whatever. When you see a dog, like, when you see a dog, regardless of what your background is, when you see a dog, and how players gravitate to dogs, like, what it is. And that boy, regardless, like, what, that boy a dog. Like, Fitzpatrick is a dog.
He gets it, man. Don't get me wrong. He has the moxie, right? Yeah. He has it, but like, it's inconsistent. It's sloppy. Yeah. It's unorthodox. Yeah. Like, and then he's 40. Like, hear me out. Yeah. I know you didn't like Trubisky. Trubisky, I didn't. He's 8 games over 500 in his career. Yeah. Trubisky is almost 2-to-1 interception ratio in his career. I mean, Trubisky, I mean, Trubisky's been a winner. He's been a Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? Like, he granted that people decided against playing in the game, but he has that on his resume. He's young. He came into a situation. He came into a situation that wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault that the Chicago Bears overdrafted him. It wasn't his fault that they weren't, they didn't set him up for success early on, right? And then he turned it around. They went to the playoffs one year where he was like 11-3. He went to the playoffs. Yeah. They contended. They came, I believe they lost to they beat the Eagles, right?
They lost.
That's the game that
they lost. They missed the field goal.
Did they lose?
They lost.
That's the game that
they lost.
What's his name? Alshon Jeffrey. They lost that game? Alshon Jeffrey dropped the pass.
I think the kicker missed the field goal. I could be wrong. I believe the kicker missed the field goal.
Okay.
I think the kicker missed the field goal.
He done got him all the way there and the kicker missed the field goal. Like, I would like to have seen a younger guy. Don't get me wrong. He has some things he has to improve too. Yeah. But he's a little bit more careful with the ball. He is multiple in what he can do in terms of versatility. He can run.
That's the thing.
He can run. He can extend plays, right? Mm-hmm. He can
throw a deep ball.
He can throw a deep ball. Mm-hmm. Terry is a dynamic receiver. Mm-hmm. Logan Thomas is a better tight end than he had in Chicago, even though Jimmy Graham is, his days are behind him. Yeah. Right? Yeah. His days are behind him. And I would say that the Washington football team has a more consistent running game because David Montgomery was up and down. Right?
Yeah, I think I don't even know either.
I don't know. And I don't know.
That's because of Dallas. That's because of Dallas. Go ahead.
I understand. That's true. So I look at it like all of Andy Reid's proteges, they go out and they try to be Andy Reid when their team doesn't need that or have that personnel. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Like Matt Nagy he goes out his way with his play calling to do something exotic. And it's just like, dude, just do the regular play. Do a regular play, get things out of the way. So I was on the Trubisky bandwagon. I wanted to see. Yeah. I think he was right in the middle. I think that he could have been a stopgap. He could have came for a year or two and earned his keep if he had to. Or you sign him to a 1-year deal and he earned his keep, and then you possibly have a quarterback for the future because next year's quarterback draft is really not the greatest. It's going to probably be Spencer Rattler, and I think the kid from North Carolina might come out depending on
it depends. Like next year's, it depends. Like this year's draft wasn't supposed to be not a highly talented this year's draft. This draft was supposed to be just Trevor Lawrence and then the kid from BYU. Now they're all calling him.
But Justin Fields is always a part of this draft.
Yeah, that's two. But that's true. He was just two. I'm sorry, two. Now they're trying to drop him. But you get what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, of course. I don't know what the discrimination is against him, but it doesn't make sense. But like, I just don't see quarterback getting fixed the regular way or the ideal way for this team in the future because next year's draft is not the best for a quarterback. You don't want to reach next year, right?
But you still got I'm hearing what you're saying. I definitely.
But you could valid points. You could have possibly got Mitch Trubisky right this year. Mm-hmm. Let's say you went Mitch Trubisky this year. He was either on a 1-year deal or a 1 and an option deal. Yeah. And you'd had the option to see how this year went. Yeah. And if he did decent, then you have a quarterback that you could take in until you bring somebody else that you really, really like. Like you said, you don't want to draft a quarterback that you don't like.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't want to reach for a quarterback. And if this team is going to do what we think this team is going to do, or what fans are hoping this team is going to do, capable, be sustained and sustain some excellence or some success, then that would have been the route. Not a 39-year-old quarterback that's up and down.
This is where I differ on that one. Like, I feel like there's a reason for why. Like, I feel like they got Fitzpatrick. I think there's certain people that came off the board that they thought they could have had a shot with, and
But you got to be willing to give up the assets.
No. I'm talking about free agents. They got signed. They got signed. I think not too long. I think Jameis got signed, and not too long. This deal got made. Not too long. Like this deal got made. So I just feel like they have an idea who they wanted. They know who they wanted. They had an idea who they thought they could get if they can get them in the building. They didn't get them in the building, so they made this choice. They're not high on Trubisky. It is what it is. Some people try to link them to Trubisky. They're not high on Trubisky. That's the agent trying to gas up a mass at the market for Trubisky. But I don't. I mean, personally, I'm not a big Mitch Trubisky fan. I don't want to knock him because I'm like you. I feel like a lot of people are negative, extra negative on him because where he was drafted, because he was drafted before Deshaun Watson. So everybody kind of gets fixated on that. So I'm not going to knock him. I think anytime you have some type of success in the NFL, like that should be commended. Like don't ever like disrespect the dude.
Especially a quarterback.
Because it's not easy. It's not easy. But I do want to say this about Fitzpatrick. Over the last, I think, because it's all about what you've been doing recently. And over the last couple of years, you know what I'm saying? Miami hasn't been a great situation. Like, it hasn't been a great situation, period. No one thought Miami was going to be competitive this season at all. Like, at all. And, you know, some people, and he was starting before Tua. And then, truth be told, because you're grooming a young dude. And he was benched prematurely for Tua when this team was winning. They were winning, and again, Miami was winning. Now look at that roster. Those wide receivers that weren't doing nothing, like Parker or whatnot, that weren't doing nothing before he became the starter. We're starting to put up tough wide receiver numbers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's going to give you. He's going to give you a chance.
When they weren't supposed to, brought him back in. When they brought him back in. So I'm just saying, like even in this situation with Miami, it's going to be a different situation knowing that. Hold on, not working properly. Check my speakers. Hold on. Test. You know what? You hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. Go back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's just never had an over 500 record in any stop that he's been in. That's problematic to me.
He was last year. What was his record starting? Last year was over 500.
Last year was 4-3, and then 7 starts.
4-3, and truth be told, that was being dirty because the way they were playing ball, and we're not even talking about, and Steve-Mo, we're not even talking about coming in relief duty and winning football games for him.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I think he's best. That's why I'm saying
he was for it. Like he had them rocking. Like for them, like look at like we always in any sport, you look at the team, you look at the roster, going into a season. We look at the Miami. We're saying lottery. We're looking at them like a top 5. They're getting top. They're top 10. They're top 10. They're gonna draft in the top 10. Like looking at their roster, ain't nobody going. No one looked at Miami, and if anybody said it, they'd be lying. No one looked at Miami and said we're gonna be fighting for a playoff spot. He had them playing late in the season for a playoff spot. And I'm not even knocking Flores. I'm not even knocking him because I get it. Because I like Tua. So I'm not even knocking him for what he did with Tua. Like I get it. Like this is like we talked about it. Miami, this is gonna be your future. Fitzpatrick ain't gonna be your long-term individual. So I want to give this dude some playing time. I'll give him some burn. I want him to rock a little bit. And dude was winning football games. He was winning football games. He may not be playing well at times, but he was winning football games. So you're gonna keep him in the lineup. But for Patrick, but you benched the dude who's had you rocking, which you were competing. I mean, not to say you're gonna be Buffalo out, but you were going neck and neck with those teams. So then all of a sudden you bench him, and then now you're asking because you know the players, because it's all about players, because players don't want to give up games when Tua isn't playing well, and it's on the cusp. And even though and you could say he took Tua out early, like it wasn't like it was early. He was like, all right. Game is still in doubt, and Tua ain't really playing well. I don't have time for him to figure it out because the players are talking. That's why the players are talking. They put in Fitzpatrick.
You got 52 other men in the box.
Exactly. So you put in Fitzpatrick. I'm just saying, like that dude last year wasn't just a dude. It was a little bit of both. Like basically, it was a little bit of both. He was their best option to win football games. Period. You know what I'm saying? And he had them winning football games because of the situation. Because you wanted to groom a young quarterback, I'm not going to knock it. I get it. Like I totally get it. He had to be that other role that you're referring to too. He had to be the clean stuff up dude. So he had to be the, you know what? I'm gonna lead us to victory as a starter, but also because I know I'm not the future, I gotta clean it up for you. You know what I'm saying? Which is a tough situation for any quarterback, and he did both last year well.
I mean, like I said, he's an ultimate professional. I don't think is a stop that he's ever been at where they didn't love him.
Oh, right? They do.
They always love him.
Receivers, man. Ocho.
They
Terrell Owens.
T.O.
Deshaun Jackson.
Man, you talking about he was wearing Deshaun Jackson's track outfit in the press conference with the chains and all that, man.
And this is what I'm telling you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, all right, let's use an example. Like Carson Wentz. This is a prime example. Carson Wentz. I like Carson Wentz, but you hear people in the locker room chirping about Carson Wentz, right? You hear the reports about chirping about Carson Wentz. Man, you had some of the most egotistical individuals ever to play the NFL game. Yo, give nothing but love to Fitzpatrick. I mean, we talking about people who would turn on their homies on a dime, and they're like, "That Ryan Fitzpatrick is an amazing guy." You would turn on threw Garcia on the bus early, and this dude was getting him 1,500 yards, and he was like, it was going on Garcia. Deshaun Jackson will let you know if he ain't feeling you.
He ain't been good since.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, like, that to me, like, as an end, like, that to me, as just I've always looked at myself as like a player's individual who thinks like the players and tries to like see how the dynamics of a locker room. That alone lets me know, like, yo, dudes ball for you. Like, they ball for you. Like, you inspire dudes to ball for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like playing ball. Like, you playing ball with certain people. They can score 30, but you don't want to hoop for them because they don't inspire you to hoop like that. But then you got other dudes who may be giving you 15. That's it. But they be getting on you. Like Chris Paul, they be getting on you. They make you want to play better. They make you want to do this. And then you kind of bump with that individual. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Fitzpatrick is a dude that people bump with.
I think he's a leader, man.
Yeah.
I think he's a leader. I think that's why he's here.
Yeah.
I think he's a vet. He's wily. He he's a leader, all that stuff. I think that's why he has a job.
Yeah.
I think that's why he has a job now. I'm just from my perspective and the way that this team felt like it was building, and it just was out of left field for me. I don't have much negative to say about Ryan Fitzpatrick outside of his turnover issues. I mean, we're gonna see it on the field. We're gonna see it on the field.
I mean, a lot, man. I'm not going to play that off. I remember playing against. I remember this team played against when I was younger. Played against him when he was with the St. Louis Rams, and he turned the ball over. Like, he was a gift. He was a gift. He was a gift. He was a gift. But again, like,
we'll see about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll see. You know, he's now slated in the NFC East. You know, teams are now kind of jockeying, trying to get better position, trying to improve their team. See the Cowboys making moves, trying to add in cornerbacks and whatnot. You see the Giants I think the Giants just signed in terms of a running back, they just signed Booker. You talked about Williams. We talked about Williams via text to solidify their defense. I don't know what the Eagles are doing, so I can't even tell you what the Eagles are doing. The Eagles are just tanking. So in a situation where the East may not be, and there's a lot of question marks in the East. It's just a lot of question marks. You know what I'm saying? In this division, you know, he's put if your goal is to win a division, you're still in the running for that. You know what I'm saying? But to your point, you know, what kind of record you want to have in the division, though? Like, what kind of record overall record you want to have in the season, not just the division, but in the season with a Fitzpatrick. So my question to you is, what's the ceiling of wins for this football team if Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback?
Ceiling?
The ceiling.
I mean, ceiling optimistically, ceiling based off that. Well, I can't even say based. It's a little different now.
It's a little different now.
I was say I can't even say based off that defense. It's a bit different now, but I'm sure they'll fill those holes. I think that's why they kept on to those assets.
Yeah.
Because I think there's going to be some players in place for them in the draft, or later on in the thrift store version of the free agency. We'll see who else. After some folk, a lot of corners just got cut. Casey Hayward. I
like him, man. I still like him. I think that's a good.
Yeah, I heard Joe Hayden's out there. You got
Joe out there.
I believe so. I believe that Joe Hayden's out there.
Cut Joe.
Janoris Jenkins got picked up today.
Yeah,
out of Titans. Yeah. Dory Jackson just got cut today. Malcolm Butler's still there. Yeah, Malcolm Butler's still out there. So there's some corners out there. There's some safeties out there too. Dude Boston from Carolina.
Oh yeah,
he's been a thief recently.
He's been linked.
He's been Trey Boston. He's been a thief recently. So there's some players out there. So I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do. But the question again. Sorry.
Oh, what's the ceiling? You good, bro? Look,
the ceiling.
You good?
Ceiling for the team. I think at the very best 10-6.
Okay. 10-6.
9-7 probably more realistic. 9-7 is probably more realistic.
Yeah.
9-7 is probably more realistic, especially with how up and down Fitzpatrick plays.
Yeah.
But and some of the losses that the defense has that we don't know yet. So I'm gonna
this
go
is where
there.
I'm gonna agree with you. Mo. This is where I'm agree with you. Feel like it can go either which way. You know what I mean? It can go either which way this aspect. If you're going to, if say Fitzpatrick with what they have now, it can be 7-9, 6-10, easily as constructed now.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do what they need to do, and that is get another wide receiver, I know one of my friends texted me and I stated like they need another running back. Because I'm still, as much as everybody wants to gas up Antonio Gibson, and I get it because you get wild with the touchdowns, you get wild with the amount of yards. Because when you look at Pro Football Reference, you see stats and you kind of like, oh, he was doing this. Season was great, but if you go to game logs, then you'll see where I'm coming from. Consistent running game. You need a consistent running game. So you're going to have to get a guy that has more wiggle, more speed and power with that wiggle, just as to be his backup, because he's going to be the starter. I'm not saying he should be on the bench or anything, but you need another guy that maybe a little, I won't say a guy who's young, but somebody super young, but somebody young enough, like a Leonard Fournette, like somebody like that to be the backup or whatnot, to spell him, because one, we've seen that he can get hurt, and with how he plays when he's hurt, he's not the same guy. So you need a guy who could take that pressure off of Fitzpatrick. Like, he doesn't have to throw the ball 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Even though, again, Scott Turner likes to throw the ball 100 times, but you know what I mean? Like, you want that type of situation.
I think you guys need to go back to the old Carolina way.
I agree.
When Carolina had multiple running backs that could be starters. I mean, so when you mentioned Fournette just now, I just didn't see Fournette being a backup for the whole season. With the way, I think he's just too good enough. You know what I mean? I don't think he's like elite. Yeah, I think Fournette is just too good enough to not be on the bench for all season.
No, I agree. I think Fournette. I think Fournette. All right, we'll be bluntly honest. He's better than Gibson. All right. Do you want me to be honest? I was just doing it for the fans, man. I gotta do this for the fans, bro. I gotta throw love. Didn't you just see where I was trying to not go with it? You saw me like.
I gotta take you there, man.
You gotta take me there. All right, man. I know he's not better than Fournette. Okay, we're talking about a kid that was like almost all world out of high school. LSU did the thing. Saw him in Jacksonville, and you saw him in the Super Bowl. So you already know, like, that's elite. Fournette, if you don't know, Fournette is borderline elite for real. It's just that circumstances play a certain role. Like, he's borderline elite. He's
just on the other side of the line, but he should be there.
Exactly.
He should be there by now from the way he came in.
But he's close. Don't get it like if he went to a team that was dedicated to the run, like the Titans.
You know what I'm hearing?
What?
I'm hearing that him and Seattle might be a pair.
Who? Fournette?
Yeah,
perfect. No, it's perfect. That's perfect. I think it's perfect. That's perfect because Seattle wants to go back for real to Marshawn Lynch mode. Like, that's what they want to do. That's perfect. So, like, that's what I'm saying. I need a back like that in concert with Gibson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to your point, you're talking about having a two-headed monster, because Bryce Love is looking like, to me, he's not going to get healthy anytime soon. Even fans who wish that, you hope it, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't personally think it's going to happen. So you're going to have to get a back. And, people may think that, all right, you're going to say get in the draft and say it's easy in the draft. All right, then. But where you want to, there's things on the defense.
I mean, it's the best value. It is the best value.
In the draft, it is. No, in the draft, it's the best value. But depending on what this team is, what this team is trying, what is this team trying to do to get situated in the draft? Like, there are other holes, right? Because if you feel so confident about Gibson, my point is, you feel so confident about Gibson, right?
You shouldn't need another one.
You should need another running back. You should need to draft another running back. Like, not in the third, fourth. You know what I'm saying? Not in the third, fourth round. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You feel that highly about Gibson. So I'm saying, like, get another back. I feel like Stack, obviously, we talk about linebacker. They just lost KPL. He went to Houston. So with Houston, again, I was never that high on him anyway. I thought I didn't think he was that good anyway. So they can go and get another linebacker. So to me now, the only linebacker you have in the bit like is Holcomb, which I'm cool with. I like Holcomb. And you get two other dudes with him. So you have to kind of but you got to draft right. And to me, that's the situation. That's what they need to build to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick. You get another wide receiver and linebacker.
Listen, man. You guys got to figure this corner out.
And linebacker. No, I'm telling you, I'm cool with Fabian. Fabian is good. Like I'm telling you, this is the thing that the NFL bothers me. Like what? All right, so you know what? No, you're gonna say this. All right, when Carolina Panthers, right? This is a good example. When Rivera lost, they said the same thing. Rivera lost, what's his face?
Josh
Norman. There was nobody. They just drafted Bradbury in the draft. And Bradbury was a late round draft pick. So I'm just saying, like Rivera has a formula. He knows what he's doing with that cornerback situation. And we all know, truth be told, systems help. Because Josh Norman, that system helped him a lot. And it helped him. It helped him a lot. And Bradbury, you know about Bradbury is in New York now. So you know about Bradbury. So I'm just saying, like,
Bradbury he was a gem. He's taking his game to the next level.
Exactly. So you know, and that's a late round. So I'm just saying, like, you don't have to. My point is, when you gotta, and you know this as a football dude, when your defensive line is getting enough pressure, you don't need that guy. And you already mentioned you mentioned a bunch of names already. If they wanted to,
I'm just talking about the value. Right. If you're not going to pay somebody at corner, 19 that's probably the best position at 19 to draft. That and alignment. I've been saying that since.
But you can get. I don't want a corner at 19. Know what I want at 19? I want a line.
You're going to reach for a linebacker at 19. All the good ones are going to be gone.
They already talking about who's going to slip there, and they can, and it's feasible. It is that kid. That Notre Dame.
Mo is going to be gone.
Look, man, 19,
he's going to be gone, man.
You're not going. But see, one thing about this team, which I'm telling you, one thing about this team is they don't do that much reaching with Rivera. They don't do that much reaching. They just draft. They don't do that much reaching.
I'm saying you're in no man's land in number 19, man.
They're gonna get the best available. Land. I guarantee they don't get the best available. That I'll tell you. They'll get the best available.
I don't think you're a good enough team to do the best available.
No. You should always get the best available. 19. You should always do the best available. You should always. The best available is 19. You should always do the best available. You should always, if you don't have nothing. If you're not dominant in every, the only position that you don't have to go after in terms of best available, to be real with you, it's probably defensive end. That's the only one you don't really have to go best available. But everybody else is best. I guess you could say defense. Well, yeah, you can go defense. You can go best available in tackles too. You really can, because you don't know what's going to happen with Jo the year after, so you don't even know. So yeah, you can go best available throughout the whole roster, because you need another wide receiver. You damn well ain't good enough to say, you know what, running back, it's just going to be Gibson. Like he's elite. Because I tell you, if Clemson running back slipped to 19,
listen,
man, Antonio Gibson, you're cool.
Listen, if y'all draft Etienne, if y'all draft Travis Etienne, Antonio Gibson's gone. Huh? Antonio Gibson will never play again. Draft Etienne, Antonio Gibson.
I'm telling you.
It's finished.
Look, it's cool. And the business about hurting feelings, dog. Like, you're not good at, like, he ain't AP in his prime. He ain't Saquon when healthy. He's not, like, when you're not that guy.
Man, if y'all draft Etienne, man, you should have never put that picture in my mind. If y'all draft Etienne. I'll grab Etienne. Goodness gracious.
I'm just telling you, best available. I'm telling you. I know fans are listen to the show and they like, bruh, I love Gibson. I'm telling you, if Etienne is out there, and you telling me Gibson and homie, you ain't, it ain't even close. It ain't even, that's what I'm saying. You're not in that position. You're not like the Saints, who have like players that you could like, we don't need them. Like you got Kamara. You're not, I don't need no. I got Kamara. You're not in a position like that. Like you can get best available for pretty much. If you look at the Washington football team's roster, pretty much most of the roster best available. If you're telling me it's not going to happen, Logan Thomas had a great year. He had a good year. Not great. He had a good year, right? Mm-hmm. Very productive. If Kyle Pitts slips there, I'm not worried about Logan Thomas at all.
You're talking about some talent, though.
That's what I'm telling you. Look, I'm telling you, like, I'm not worried about you.
You're talking about the elite talent, though. I don't care who my tight end is. I can have Kelsey. I can have Kelsey. If Kyle Pitts is there, I'm drafting him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We just gonna run 2 tight ends all game. I'm sorry. I don't need another wide receiver.
That would be mean. Ooh.
Man, what?
That would be tough.
Tyreek line up over there.
You know what? I take that back because that don't even matter. Because you're right. Because 2 tight ends, and they 2. You can still. You just. They be your wide receivers. You ain't need no real wide receivers.
Tight end all game. Kelsey go line up out there. Tyreek, you go over there. Kyle Pitts, have at it.
You know what?
Have at it.
That was not fair. That's not fair. You're right. That's not fair. That's true. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like in this situation for the Washington football team, I mean, even if they're not done, I mean, I'm like not high on, and I guess I'm gonna get some people hating on me on this. I think Kyle Allen's some trash. Yeah, I said it. I don't even care. I think Kyle Allen's trash. I do. I feel like, I know I'm sorry that he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously he got to rehab that. But I know a lot of football fans are like, "Oh, Kyle Allen, you know, we had him," and I'm like, "Nah, not really. He's not that good.
He's not a good football player, man. He won those first 5 games before they had tape on him in Carolina when
and
Cam
then
got hurt.
Look, man,
and he hasn't won it since.
Bruh, look at this. Look, be real. I mean, he won a game for Washington. He beat the Cowboys for Washington, but that don't count. Everybody.
He the one that won the Cowboys game?
Yeah, he won the Cowboys game. He won that game.
Oh.
He won.
It wasn't.
He won the first one against the Cowboys. The one that Antonio Gibson got all the yards. He won that game.
So Haskins only won 1 game all season?
Haskins only won, yes. As a starter? Yes. He just won the Eagles game. Yeah. Terrible, right? I know. Sucks. Just sucks. Just sad. But yeah, like back to like Allen, I'm like, to your point, everybody got film on him. And you know the game that, and this is why I knew he was bad. This is why I really knew he was bad, right? Because Washington sucked that year and they beat him. And that's why I knew he was bad. Like, you don't gotta tell me, like, and I watched that game. Like, he was throwing the ball up. Like, he was throwing it up. And everybody, because don't forget, beginning when he got in that winning streak, everybody was trying to say that he was better than Cam. Right? Mm-hmm. They were trying to like say he was better than Cam. And like then he got exposed, like you said, he got exposed. And then when he lost to Washington, and that defense was bad that year. Like Washington defense was horrible that year. And they made him work. And that's the rumor that folks started to say that that's when Rivera was interested in Washington because he saw the potential on the defense. He saw some of the young players on defense. And I was like, nah, your dude was just bad. Like your dude was just bad. Like he was a bad quarterback. So to Washington fans who are toting this Kyle Allen thing as a competition, he's not really a great quarterback. He turns the ball over for real. So we talk about turnover Fitzpatrick. I'd rather have a turnover Fitzpatrick over a turnover Kyle Allen any day of the week. That's if you're going to compare turnover and quarterback. I mean,
Fitzpatrick, like you said, man. Like you said, people see dog when they see Fitzpatrick. You see dog. You know,
like
and that gives your team a spark.
Yeah, like Heineke.
That gives your team, something.
Yeah, like to your point, like a dog, like Heineke, like
it gives your team something.
Yeah,
it
gives
like
your
team a boost.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, like because like
it gives your team a boost, no matter.
No, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I said it gives your team a boost, just like you got somebody that's gonna give you a chance.
Yeah, and like you see when Chase Young was hyping up Heineke, you know what I'm saying, or Scary Terry, like them dudes, they know, like they know, they get it. They're like, yo, regardless of what we see as fans, it's like your arm don't look strong, your arm look weak, or you don't look like you ain't get enough games, bro. Like we ain't see enough of you. You're not on the primetime games to see you. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing the commercials. You're not being interviewed by everybody. Who is you? But these dudes that practice with them, these dudes that play, we're in the pits with you. They was, you know what I'm saying? They were shooting in the gym with you. They see it. You know what I'm saying? They know it. They know what's fake and what's fake and what's real. You know what I'm saying? You got people who just talk it. They knew it. So I always feel like when somebody go extra, that's when you know, like, all right, they want people to know that this dude can go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in sports, like for an underdog, they go extra. Like, but if they chill, blase, they give you like just the normal talk, then like that person don't got it. Like, they don't got it. You know what I'm saying? So when Chase came out and was like sizing them, with actually not even just Chase, when Scary was sizing them, That's when I was like, okay, if Scary's gonna hype you up, Scary Terry, who's a low key dude anyway, like he played a low key dude. In terms
you got something with you there.
There's something with you. So Heineke, I feel like that's why I tell folks like it won't bother me if he restarts. I'm just a realist. I just know like you just gave dude though $10 million for a quarterback nowadays is cheap, but you gave this dude $10 million. He's starting.
He's the most veteran player on the team.
Yeah, he's starting. And we gotta be real as fans, like off a track record, right? Track record and what you've done. The only person doesn't really have a substantial body of work. I mean, I guess you say, to me, Allen has a body of work to a certain extent. It's Heineke doesn't have any body of work for real, like true body, other than like a game for real of which everybody saw, right? Everybody saw on national TV because it's a playoff game. But he's the only one that has like a body of work, right? I mean, but Allen between those two has a body of work. So to me, if we're going to compare, if we're going to look at what we're looking at the quarterback competition, to me, it's easy to say that. I mean, the leader is going to be
Fitzpatrick is going to be the one.
So, but yeah, man,
that's true. I mean, so you guys got your starting quarterback, man. I want to see it play out. We know why some people are questioning this. We know why, it's a shocker to a lot of people, including myself. But I mean, you got to play the games.
That's what I love about. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's about, though. Now, we can all complain about this, or we be critical, or we can be for it. But the blessing about sports is you gotta play to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't talk for a man. I can't talk for a man and say he gonna do this. I don't ever say, truth be told, I stopped doing that because some people let me down. They made me look stupid. I don't like looking stupid. So I'm all for like, yo, we're gonna play it. We're gonna see what happens, and whatever happens. But you know what I'm saying? At least. One thing about for watching football fans, they should know is that like Rivera making the moves and he's doing what he want to do, and nobody know what he's going to do. They say they know what he's going to do. He keeps that thing to the vest and he making his moves. If it don't work, that's on him. But at least you know that you got a coach that is doing his moves. You can't say that somebody else is doing it. You know it's his move. So
right.
It's
stand on his own.
It's structured this way. So now you can't. There's nothing you can say about that. So be happy with that, Washington football fans, because it's asking how certain normal organizations work, and they're letting their coach work. You know what I'm saying? It's not run by the owner. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We sure did. Me and Mo weren't as argumentative as we thought we probably were going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Mo's my dog, you know what I'm saying? I keep telling y'all, you know what I'm saying? Africans get along. You know what I'm saying?
All day, man.
All day, every day, man. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Search all Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene. Also, tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. It was a pleasure doing the show, my boy Mo. We're going to have Ray Jeezy back next week. We're going to have the dynamic trio.
Hey,
I like that. I guess
we
can say dynamic trio. Can we go with dynamic trio, Mo? Can we go with that?
Dynamic trio.
All right, we go with that. All right, we think we can go with that. Hey, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the Urban Sports Scene on Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega, lead us out, big homie.